Here we go again. The SEC has requested another extension in their case against Ripple, and the judge has allowed that. We'll discuss. State attorneys from 8 states have filed on behalf of Kraken, stating that the SEC is overstepping their authority. What a huge deal that is. Wright updates from his ongoing COPA trial. And lastly, are Bitcoin ETFs going to dramatically change this bull run, harming the action in the altcoin space? We'll discuss. Now, looking at the weekend crypto action, we see Bitcoin down about 1% to 61,800. Ethereum down about 0.5%, essentially flat, 3,400. XRP up 6%, 63 cents. Looks like your meme coins and doggy coins are still doing good. We see Shiba Inu up 45%, Floki coin up 34%. We also have Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, both up quite a bit on the day. Filecoin having a nice run of it, up about 15% on the day. There's quite a bit of action out there. We'll see how the weekend progresses. Now, judge grants SEC deadline extension on Ripple case. The SEC has requested an extension to the deadline to file remedies-related discovery documents. Judge Annalisa Torres has approved the request. The extension allows the regulator to file its opening brief on March 22nd. The deadline for Ripple's opposition brief has been extended to April 22nd, and the new deadline for the SEC to file a reply would be May 6th. So this thing's going to continue on for quite a bit of time. The biggest ruling that we cared about is XRP is not a security that allows it to continue trading. You can imagine if that had went badly, how long it would take us to get to an appeal. That was a game saver there. But there's still some issues here we want to see. Is there anything that happens in these remedies that affects Ripple's ongoing business? They're the biggest builder and user within the XRP ecosystem, so anything bad for them, of course, could blow back on the token. And then further, just from a curiosity standpoint, I want to see what the dollar amount is here, the finality of what is Ripple going to have to pay, because there's going to be some fines and penalties. They had quite a few sales that were deemed securities offerings. How many could be pulled back here in the United States and under the SEC's authority? We'll have to wait and see. Again, if this doesn't end until May 6th, it's going to take the judge a while to put it all together and probably come up with a final number. Of course, a settlement is possible at any given point, but it's not likely because of its adverse effect it would have on the SEC's other ongoing cases. If you admit that XRP is not a security and you agree to that ruling, well, then that really is going to harm you with your Coinbase and your Kraken and your Binance suits. If I was Gary Gensler, at this point in time to limit damage, I would just try to wrap everything up in this sweeping, settlement deal. But I think what he's hoping for is in either the Kraken, the Coinbase, or the Binance case, that he can get a ruling that they can really stand on and lean on. Can they get another judge to look at this issue in a different light? And those cases are really what this is all about. They don't care about XRP or Ripple so much. They were trying to build precedent that they have authority over the whole space. What they really care about are those Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance cases, those exchange cases. That's what they want control over. Unfortunately for them, great for us, the Ripple case blew up in their face. The one issue they cared about, they lost miserably. And so now they probably are just going to kick this down the road, try to go to appeals to keep it in limbo, and try to get a better result in those exchange cases. I think that's the way Gary's going to approach this. You never know, though. Things move fast in tech and cryptocurrency and politics as well. So we'll have to see how this works. State attorney generals argue SEC overstepped in Kraken lawsuit. This is amazing. Attorney generals from numerous states filed a brief that calls out the SEC for enforcement action against Kraken Exchange, saying it used undelegated authority. This is what we've been talking about. Maybe someone should regulate the crypto space. I think so. I don't think you should be able to make wild claims, and there should be some disclosures there, but that's up to Congress to delegate those authorities. The SEC can't just go in there and snatch them. We see 8 state general attorneys from the states of Arkansas, Iowa, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, Ohio, South Dakota, and Texas filing on behalf of Kraken. According to the filing, state officials said they're not in support of either party. They just oppose the SEC's regulation of crypto assets absent of an investment contract because Congress has not delegated this authority to the SEC, and that's absolutely right. The courts should reject categorizing crypto assets as securities absent of investment contracts, and the SEC is exercising this undelegated authority puts state consumers at risk. That's the deal. When you're just making it up on the fly, you make your own laws, your own rules. No one knows what's going on. And we can see a great example of that when we go to William Hinman's speech, where he said, well, Ethereum is sufficiently decentralized. That's not a Howey test, and that's not in the law anywhere. He just made it up. And so a lot of good actors within crypto spent time trying to become, quote-unquote, sufficiently decentralized. The other problem is there's no definition of that. What does that mean? And so people thought they were being lawful, and now it turns out, well, that's just some nonsense Hinman made up. This puts everyone at risk. This is why we are a country of laws, and we don't just have jokers making it up as they go along. It damages everyone. Craig Wright, accusing critics of bugging his house and spoofing emails. Wright returns to the stand in the UK COPA trial to defend accusations of forging documents emailed to his former attorney. So what's going on here? The documents have proven to be forgeries. So Craig is saying, hey, yeah, those are forgeries, but I didn't send them. Someone spoofed them to my attorney. And when asked by the judge, do you know who did this? He said, unfortunately not. I suspect a number of people, my lord. The Australian computer scientist has long maintained he's Satoshi Nakamoto. A group of industry participants called the Crypto Open Patent Alliance, COPA, and several Bitcoin developers filed suit against Wright, alleging he's committing forgeries on an industrial scale. Now, here's the deal. Anytime someone says, well, Craig Wright's not Satoshi or whatever, they get sued. And I'm so sick of this problem that continues to go up. I'm looking forward to some sort of conclusion here in the COPA trial. And to be honest, I would love it if Craig Wright was Satoshi, because it would prove that Bitcoin, the protocol itself, has grown well beyond the creator, right? No one cares about what Satoshi's vision is. If that's the case, that's the lesser blockchain, and that would absolutely be bullish for current day Bitcoin, in my mind at least. Now, I'm not saying he is or he isn't. I don't want to be sued or pulled into trial. I'll leave that up to the courts to decide. Now, lastly, this is interesting. I've heard this from a lot of different people. There's a quote from this article. There's often a dynamic where investors that have gains in Bitcoin rotate them into altcoins. But that's not going to happen this time around because those gains are locked in ETFs, and there's no easy way to rotate into other crypto investments. I get what they're saying. If I have a grayscale ETF, I can't easily just trade that for some Shiba Inu. So that's going to cause a problem for alts, is what people are thinking. This is my mind. There's still as many people, probably more so, that own Bitcoin direct. Maybe it's less Bitcoin, but it's a much higher value, and so that dollar amount will still roll into alts. The regular crowd that was investing or holds Bitcoin directly that would normally be doing this type of transaction, they didn't go away. Their Bitcoin is just going to be worth a heck of a lot more. It's going to be more scarce, and I think we will still see that rotation, but it's an interesting dynamic. Will Bitcoin being locked in ETFs stop its value from rolling into alts like we typically see? Let me know what you think down below. I don't personally believe that's going to happen, but it's an interesting thesis. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.